What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soul Break. Thanks for stopping by my channel. So this week we had a lot of releases, but I ended up just taking L's on every single raffle. I wasn't really expecting to get anything anyways, but it is a bit of a bummer. But anyways, I have another pair of scrap dunks, as I mentioned in my previous video. And if you haven't checked that video out, I'll leave a link down in the description so that you could see that. And so after this video, you can just go check that out. But anyways, this is the Nike Dunk Low Scrap in the Sea Glass colorway. Now, I'm not really sure what sea glass is supposed to look like, but I guess this is it. But what I do want to point out is that, I think the other pair was a bit more funky in terms of colorway because it had like brown, green, orange, and everything all over the place, which is fine. But this seems to have a more, I guess, ordinary, nicely toned and more wearable colorway on the shoe. So let's just dive right in and talk about the aesthetics. So let's start with the side panel here. Similar to the other pair, you've got this kind of like white mesh material on the side panel, and on top of that, you've got a very nice crisp Nike swoosh stitched on here, and it's actually a double layer where you got this white leather swoosh on the top part, and then underneath that, you got like a off-whitish kind of another swoosh layer there. And again, the QC on this pair is quite nice, and I think that was just the same for the Archaeo Brown pair that I showed you earlier. And right below that, you've got that patch of suede, or I think this is actually suede material in this, I guess, like some sort of grayish brown or tan colored patch right there. And then towards the front, you got a side panel here in this almost kind of like beige colored, like cream colored leather, and the leather quality is quite nice. It has a tumbled texture to it. It is quite smooth and plush to the touch, and then connecting the mesh material and that leather patch, you got this piece of embroidery and this gold stitch. And I think that's a very cool detail. And once again, as I mentioned in my other video, I think these dunks kind of take inspiration from, having like scraps around and just kind of like putting all the scraps together to create another sneaker. And so naturally, it has this sort of DIY look and kind of that deconstructed vibe to it, and I think it's a pretty cool execution. Honestly, the overall look of the shoe gives me this kind of like artsy feel. It almost looks like an artwork, especially in this particular colorway. And on top of that, cream colored leather, you've got this TPU material on the side. I'm not really sure what the function of this is, but you have it there anyways. And then here on the eye stay area, you got another patch of that kind of like beige toned leather. And then here you almost have like a very light yellow or mustard colored eye stay. And then you ever so slightly, you see that kind of like, I don't want to say like elephant print, but there's some sort of pattern going on. And I think that's a very cool little detail. And then right underneath that, once again, you've got this kind of like squeaky, like plasticky material underneath it. I'm not, by plasticky, I don't mean anything like bad. It's just the feel of the material. I'm not really sure what you would call that, but it's definitely not leather, or it might be like leather with some sort of like coating on top of that. But anyways, you've got that kind of like shiny material here for the eye stay area. And then on the toe cap, you got more of that beige toned leather. Once again, it's got that tumbled texture, and it is quite smooth. And then on the toe box, I guess this is sort of the sea glass color. I'm not really sure what sea glass is supposed to look like, but you almost have this kind of like minty colored leather patch for the toe box area, and you've got this kind of wavy pattern to it. And then you got some perforated holes, and this is cut like diagonally. And then on the upper part here, you've got that more of that mesh material in that, once again, that kind of minty or whitish color. And then here, once again, you see that yellowish I would say some sort of leather or nubuck material stitched onto the right side of the toe box, and I think that's once again that kind of like that elephant print or whatever. It's got some sort of pattern on it, and then here on the center, you got that nylon tongue once again in that I'm supposedly that sea glass color, which gives off this kind of like minty hue. And then you got the white cotton laces factory laced onto the shoe. And then on the tip of the tongue, you got that Nike tab in white with the Nike text logo embroidered in black. And then you got some outline stitching in gold here, which I think, I don't know, I wouldn't say this is like a retro look to it, because I don't know, I'm not really familiar with this text, but it's got a very cool vibe. It's very different. I haven't seen this kind of text detail on other dunks, so I think it's just cool to switch things around once in a while. And then on the back side, you've got a flap here that has that, once again, that really, really nice leather material with that tumbled texture, and it's in that kind of beige tone. And then you got a longer embroidery in that gold stitching connecting the materials and the different segments. And then here on the heel counter area, you've got that beige tone leather here once again stitched all the way across the back. And then on top of that, you got this kind of like nubuck or suede. I think this is actually short hair suede material in that, I think suede, or I mean sea glass color. And then in between the heel tab and that piece of suede, you got black mesh material here on the back. And it's really interesting to see mesh material on the back side of the shoe, because I think you rarely see that type of, construction on Nike shoes. But I might be wrong, but this is the first time that I'm seeing that, so it's very different and cool. And then on the collar area, you got more of that sea glass color leather here, which connects you to that inner sock liner, which is this like cotton material, and once again that sea glass tone. And then here on the insole, you got, oh, the camera's picking up the insole very nicely. The insole is white, and then you got that Nike swoosh logo and the Nike text logo printed in that sea glass color. And again, I mentioned this in my other video, but you got a very cool design where the Nike text logo and the swoosh itself is kind of broken up, adding to the overall atmosphere and like kind of the feel of that deconstructed look of the entire shoe. So I think that's a very cool detail, a very subtle yet nice touch, because you won't be able to, you're the only one person who is going to be able to see this when you wear this. Whenever you put them on, nobody's gonna know, but it's a very cool detail to have it on the shoe, even though this print will probably come off after like maybe like 2 or 3 wears of this shoe, but it is what it is. And then on the midsole, you got that typical white Dunk midsole. And then for the outsole, you've got that beautiful gum outsole with the typical circular traction pod here on the forefoot area, and on the midfoot you got that Nike text logo and the Nike swoosh logo here. And that gum outsole is fantastic. I mean, it looks so rich. It's got that really, really nice caramel color. And I think it's a very, very wearable look. So yeah, wearability wise, I think this is probably the easier pair to pull off with your daily outfits. I mean, the colors are like very toned down, so there's nothing like too fancy or flashy about it, even though the design itself is kind of like out there. So I mean, if you don't own a pair of Dunks and you don't mind the design being funky and all, I think this might be a pretty good pair to pick up, especially because there's basically no resale premium on these. I think they're even like sitting in stores where I live, so it's probably a better idea to just kind of like try them out and then kind of make a decision. But yeah, sizing wise, I did manage to try this pair on because this one is in my size, but I feel like this is a bit tighter on the toe area. So even though most of the times I like recommend like true to size for you guys, I think it would be a pretty good idea to go half a size up, especially if you have very wide feet, because I don't think this entire toe box area is going to give a lot of give. So it might be a good idea to just kind of go half a size up. But going true to size wouldn't be a problem. It should be fine. I mean, this leather is going to stretch out eventually with a lot of wear after you break them in, but you know, that's just like personal preference, I suppose. But yeah, definitely, you know, going half a size up might be a good option for people with wide feet out there. And yeah, and that's about it, I think. I mean, this is a very cool dunk. It's very different. I personally won't wear them because I've got a lot of shoes at the moment, and this is not something that I'm looking forward to keeping, because I've got other shoes that I need to cop. I need to definitely get my hands on the Air Jordan 1 Pollens, which did not release this weekend in my home country. So I'm hoping Nike will release them, say maybe like next weekend or something like that. But anyways, I still have a lot of shoes to pick up, so I'll probably return these to the store so that somebody else can have them. But you know, even then, like, there are a lot of pairs just going around. So yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you enjoyed watching this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow, and as always, I really appreciate all your support and interest, and I'll try to keep pushing more content really soon. I don't know how many shoes I'll be able to pick up, but fingers crossed. Anyways, thanks for watching.